How's it going, guys? Good.
Braxton, it's always really hard, at least for me anyway, to tell how well an offensive lineman has performed in a game or in a season. What is your best judgment? What's your best measurement of how well you've done? Do you actually look at grades that the Bears give you, or grades Pro Football Focus puts out? What's your measurement? What's your measuring stick?
Yeah, I'd say my measurement is purely off of how number one's doing, really. If we're winning games, I feel like I'm doing my job. Obviously, we're not winning a lot of games, but, I got to go deeper into the performance. But, for me, I really take it personal and keeping Justin clean. And, I think that's the biggest thing for me is if he's clean and the runner's clean and, we're making good strides as an offense. I'm a team player. I'm not here to get a badge for being, just a guy that's just doing his job. I want, to succeed as a team and stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing for me. I just want to keep number one and our runner clean all the time, whoever it is, and then work really well with our O-line. So based on this season, obviously I feel like I've had some ups and downs, some rough patches in certain games, not necessarily stretches or weeks of rough patches, but just certain games that I needed to, be a little bit better in terms of a whole bunch of things, technique, pad level, and just being more consistent. But obviously for my first year, I feel like I just got to be more consistent. That's the biggest thing as O-lineman, and that's how you stick around is, being as consistent as possible and then, straining as long as you can.
I don't imagine you look at it this way, but I mean, do you feel like you have at least establish yourself as a foundation building block of this rebuild, looking ahead to next year? I know there's 2 games left, but looking ahead, do you feel like you've done that and you're pretty solid in your position looking ahead?
Yeah, I mean, I'm no person to just, put myself and say that I'm for sure, that guy or anything, because that's not my decision to make, but I want to be that guy. I want to put in the work in the offseason too as well to be that guy and a cornerstone for this organization. I feel like obviously I got a lot of work to do, but just personally and the way I try and, act around the building, I want to be here as long as possible, and I feel like I could be a cornerstone for that left tackle position. So I definitely think I do got to get obviously a lot better in certain situations. That bull rush obviously has got to clean up, and that just comes with consistency, pad level, and technique and stuff like that. But as far as your question, I definitely think, I could do that for sure.
Braxton, way back in OTAs, you were telling us you were kind of surprised when they just threw you in there at starting left tackle. Obviously, it's been a long journey since then. Over the course of the season, is there anything that gives you confidence moving forward that, I can be that guy? Obviously, you said you want to be that guy, but is there something over the year that gives you confidence that you can be that guy?
I would say just going out and doing it. I can pull up film right now of me doing it over and over again well, and I can pull up film of me not doing it so well. So I think I always tell you guys, the consistency part is so crucial, and we always overlook it because it's just it's another word that you can use all the time. But I think that's just huge in my development. Like next year, you got to see that consistency build up and more consistent plays for me and stuff like that. So I think that's the biggest thing. Obviously, in OTAs, I didn't know where I was going to be. It was it had been a wild journey so far, but as of right now, I just think throughout the season, I got to keep on getting better and be more consistent.
Do you think you have been more consistent as the season's gone on?
A little bit. I'd like to be more consistent. Just not having those 1 or 2 plays where it's just like exactly what to do, and I do. I always do. I'm a fairly cerebral player and the position I'm in, so I just think cleaning up those certain situations, and some of my errors do come in critical times, and I think that's. I got to know it's 3rd and 5 here. Like, I got to really kick in with my assignment and just be more locked in some of those situations. But overall, I think I've, from game 1 to now, I think I've been definitely a little bit more consistent in what you're going to get out of me. But I think that needs to take a big jump. And if I do take a big jump, it will look really good. So.
You said you want to prove yourself as a cornerstone at the left tackle position. What kind of motivator is that for you?
It's a huge motivator. Coming into the season, I don't think a rookie had started at left tackle for quite some time. So, I mean, I'm just, I'm so grateful to be here in the position I am. And the coaches have, done an unbelievable job of just putting me in a great position to succeed. And I think I haven't given them, as much props. Not all these rookie tackles go out here and, just put on one-on-one islands. And I think the coaches have done a good job of, putting me in a position to succeed. So I just want to, give them a chance in the off season to see that I'm, growing and I can be that cornerstone. So I think that's the biggest thing is like they've given me opportunity. Now I got to seize that opportunity and keep on growing and getting better.
After rewatching the tape, did you notice anything that the Bills defense did that contained Justin Fields in a different way with his ability to rush? Did they do anything differently?
I mean, the biggest thing I was seeing is the mesh charge. So the DNs, slanting inside and they're bringing the backer over top, but then they're blitzing off of that as well. So that was the biggest thing I saw. I mean, I'm no offensive coordinator or anything like that, but obviously some of that they did get us on. I feel like some of those safety pressures, and we got to be a little bit better when we do have movement and stuff like that. But I mean, it's just stuff that we're always going to see, and we just got to execute a little bit better. I can't talk for everybody, but even myself, I just think I got to execute better when stuff does start moving around. But obviously, they had they game plan just like we game plan. So, we knew some of that stuff was coming. We just as a unit, we're one off, and we got to be a little bit better.
Braxton, there have been so many different combinations of guys on one line this season. Has that made your job more difficult, and if so, how?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's more difficult. It just, I guess for anybody it's more difficult, obviously. But, I mean, it just kind of shows to you how you got to go out there and perform no matter what each week, whoever it is, if it's Larry Borum, Dieter, or, Cody. I think it's just, a testament to your group and going out and performing, and a testament to those guys. I mean, Larry, he hasn't played guard or anything like that. I mean, dude stepped in there and, I think we did a pretty good job. And so it's tough being in that situation. Hats off to those guys coming in and doing a good job. But for me, I just adjust and, whatever we get throughout that practice, we try and, make it work as much as we can. And then, game time, it's go time. So, yeah.
Was the new face in there? What did you see playing next to Dieter?
I mean, I played next to Dieter even in I think rookie minicamp a little bit, and it's no different. I mean, the guy goes in there and he works. He wants to do his job. Couple things, obviously, communication-wise is a little different. I mean, me and Cody communicate different than me and maybe Larry or whatever. So I think that's the biggest thing is, when a guy like Dieter or something comes in, and we just got to figure out a way how to communicate really quickly and get that flow of a game going.
Braxton, obviously you guys have been competitive in a lot of these one-score games and coming up short, of course, but is it a different feel after a game like Saturday where the game kind of gets away from you guys and maybe some technique and different things kind of fell apart throughout the game?
I wouldn't say that's like the thing, just getting away from us. I do think for myself, as the game goes on, technique things do pop up a little bit more, and even talking with Coach, throughout a game, I got to be more consistent, in my technique. So that may be the same thing for other guys. I'm not for sure, but as a whole, I feel like we just got to go out there and finish better. We're first half it's 10-6, and we come out and just energy might have been low. I don't know really necessarily what it was, but for me, I felt like my pat level just kept on getting higher and higher. Obviously, it's super cold out and stuff like that, so there's a lot of things that come into play. But I think for me, I just got to stick to my rules and just keep on grinding out that third and fourth quarter, and I feel like I should get better as the game goes on, not get worse in technique and stuff like that. So that's about it. But yeah.
Real quick, over the course of the season, I don't know if it works like this in a game, but do you ever get any kind of feedback from defensive players, either subtle or not, that kind of lets you know you're getting the job done or you're doing the job? Any instances like that over the course?
I mean, maybe a little bit, not necessarily a lot. I mean, I know I had a conversation with Sweat from the Eagles, and it wasn't like, oh, do this or do that, but it was just kind of like, just a little chatter, but nothing crazy. I mean, they're not telling me, oh, you're doing really good at this or anything like that. But, maybe that would be I need to do a better job in that and maybe getting a little bit of feedback. But, I mean, as of this season, I just been doing my thing for sure. Appreciate you guys. You guys have a nice afternoon.
Nick, now that you've gotten a chance to take a look at the tape, any more clues or answers as to why the run defense just really, it seemed like it took a step back on Saturday?
Yeah, we just didn't fit them right. We didn't have really good gap integrity. And they did a good job with some of our line stunts. Their tackles did a good job of kind of chasing them in there, made it a little difficult, made it a little muddy for the second level reads. But kudos to them. But also we got to be better second level and on the first level of fitting those runs up.
Nick, you guys have been really competitive in some of these games, one-score games and tight losses. Is there a different feeling after a game like Saturday where the score kind of gets away from you guys late?
I don't know if it's a different feeling. I mean, a loss is a loss. And obviously you want to win it. I think we were in that game, right? So we were up in halftime, and I think at one point the score was, 21-13? And then the game kind of got away. I don't think the feeling changes. Obviously you want to win. If you're a competitor, you want to win. And so that's what you kind of focus on is figuring out a way to improve and get the next one.
I think it was your second year in the league with the Raiders when Gruden's first year. You guys obviously struggled a lot there that season. What do you remember about that year in terms of maybe what you're seeing here that tells you this thing is still kind of going in the right direction despite the record, just based on your experience in this league?
Yeah, young guys. Young guys played, and they played well. And I think young guys are playing well here right now, too, so I think that's a good sign.
In the secondary, you got a number of young guys stepping up there. What have you seen of, a lot of injuries, a lot of guys kind of in and out, and it seems like you've gotten a good amount from some of those, especially some of those rookies. What have you seen of them?
Well, I think it's a credit to their coaching, right? So Coach Curtis, Coach Overstreet, and Coach Rowe, they've done a good job of preparing them and keeping them locked in. And obviously the players have done a good job of playing with great effort and then taking the ball away as well, right? So, Kyler had, two picks in the last 2 weeks, fumble recovery. Elijah has a fumble recovery. Brisker had a sack last week. So they're doing a good job in that area too. So I think it's coaching and also those players doing a good job of preparing themselves.
I know you're focusing on your job when the play is called, but when Brisker's called in on a safety blitz, what does that look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like from your perspective?
Well, if you watch that play, I was trying to add in because I was like, he's gonna find a window somewhere, so I'm just gonna try to find one after him. But excuse me, Brisker does a good job he's a good blitzer, but he has a good feel of getting pressure. So like even on that play, his initial surge was stopped because they kind of had the back step to him and the guard step to him, and he did a good job of once the guard kind of left, he stepped in and got the sack. So he has a good feel of pressures, and if he's off the edge, he's usually free. But he does a good job. I mean, when the call comes in, it's just one of those things. I think it's every other play for me, but if I get a chance to add in, I'm kind of excited.
Does he have linebacker tendencies from your perspective?
I think all strong safeties have some, but I think he's a more natural safety, obviously, right? You think of the play he had against the Patriots when he caught that pick, right? So that's playing from depth. Not many linebackers can make that play. So I wouldn't say that, but I think he has a good feel of when he's in the box, he does a good job of finding the football. But he definitely has good instincts from depth.
You've been at this for 6 years now, seeing a rookie like him. I mean, what do you think he has that would give him the ability to have a long-term career, kind of like what you've had?
His preparation, his toughness, his ability to find the football. I think those are things that he has, and he does it at a high clip.
I think you said the other day that you believe that he can be a leader and a kind of a focal point here for a long time. And that you've talked to him about that. What do you say when you talk to him about it? And are you just trying to get him to appreciate the opportunity that he has?
I'll keep it between me and him, but I think he understands it, and I think he wants it. Obviously, when you're young, you gotta kind of develop into it and grow into it, right? Because there's some things you don't know, you haven't seen. But he's one of those dudes. He wants the moment. No moment's too big for him. He wants his number called when it's time, and so I think that's kind of something you see. He has that mentality, and obviously he has the productivity. So those two go hand in hand. I think you have a good player and a good leader.
Get this deep into a losing streak.
What keeps team morale or focus going, I guess?
You guys, I mean, I think that comes from just the guys in the locker room. You could do one or two things. You can put your head down and mow, or you can go out there and prepare for the next game. And I think it's easier when you have guys next to you that you like. It's obviously a lot harder when you have guys that you don't like. But I think that for the most part, guys in the locker room want to play well for themselves. I think that's important, and then for the guys next to them.